John Allen, a rare foray in the Oval Office today, rare for this presidency, into an American consumer issue of modern life, also a public health issue. When the president had this event to talk about vaping, we would be remiss to not run this portion of the president's remarks. John, we'll talk to you about it on the other side.
Vaping has become a very big business, as I understand it, like a giant business in a very short period of time. But we can't allow people to get sick, and we can't have our youth be so affected. And I'm hearing it, and that's how the First Lady got involved. And she's got a son together that is a beautiful young man, and she feels very, very strongly about it, especially vaping as it pertains to innocent children. And they're coming home and they're saying, "Mom, I want to vape."
So, John, what have we learned? The First Lady has a son. The word "together" was then added, and apparently children are now announcing their intentions, a change from my generation, to their parents when they come in the door. On a serious note, John, no sooner had that event happened, you saw social media light up. Firearms kill 36,000 of our fellow citizens every year. Someone said the vaping death toll plus or minus 6, and however horrendous a public health issue this turns out to be, you have to pick your targets and pick your campaigns.
Yeah, I suspect when the history of all of this is written, Brian, we'll find out that one vaping manufacturer, one e-cigarette manufacturer got to the president's ear with its lobbyists and its supporters before the other one did. That essentially the battle over flavored e-cigarettes is a corporate fight, and he came down on one side pretty quickly. This is an issue I think that a lot of people do care about. It did not sound from his comments like it's something that he's given a lot of thought to. It's certainly an issue that has not been on the scene for as long as the fight over, say, gun control or many other public health hazards. He's not a president that has involved himself or engaged himself in much in the way of regulation. And what we know from the past of tobacco regulation is that when one company gets involved in regulation, it usually has some great benefit for that company. We can look back to tobacco regulation and the desire of, at the time, the Philip Morris company to get FDA regulation of tobacco. What that did for Philip Morris was to lock in market share against its competitors. So judging from the history of this, I think that it's likely that this was something that wasn't given a lot of thought to by the president beforehand, and is something that we'll see a lot of money change hands as a result of.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.